Welcome to the Decorate Like a Design Boss podcast. And today we're going to explore a crucial tool in the design mix, and it's called Elegance. Join me as I share some tricks and tips on how to make sure you've got plenty of it. And I don't mean stuffiness, I'm talking about elegance and comfort is a part of elegance. So let's make sure you've got some elegance in your decor.
Welcome to Decorate Like a Design Boss, a podcast for design lovers who want to create beautiful spaces in their very own homes. My name is Kimberly Grigg, and I'm a professional interior designer who teaches design lovers like yourselves how to decorate. And when I say decorate, I mean decorate like a design boss. If you're ready to create a space that your family loves and your neighbors can't stop raving about, well, buckle up, honey, because it's time to design.
Well, hello there, design lovers. I am back from a break. Much needed, I might say. In fact, I took a little break from most of my social media, and every now and then you just need that. And I am excited to tell you that it allowed me a little time to create some new ideas for the podcast and to create some new ideas in my other platforms. So I'll be featuring a lot of guests this year and talking to lots of other designers and design friends about their approaches to the various aspects of interior design. We're kind of furthering our program. We've got a new course we're going to be launching. We also have our existing membership, which we're revamping a little bit. And in addition to all of this, I am happy to say that we've had 12 million plus views on our show called It's Time to Design, which is running on Facebook Live and on Instagram every Thursday at 4. So we've decided to capitalize on that a bit. And in doing so, we're going to be inviting guests to appear on those platforms. You'll be able to hear it, you'll be able to see it, and we'll also be putting that on our YouTube channel. So there's a lot of excitement. We're actually building a little studio set, and we have some exciting guests coming on, and each week we're going to have somewhat of a theme that we will be talking about. A theme such as wallpaper, a theme such as lighting, etc. And then we'll be interviewing and talking to particular guests who are experts in each of those fields. So this break allowed me to get really creative and to figure out where I wanted to take this and what I wanted to do with it. We get so much feedback about how you like learning about interior design, and some people like visual learning, some people love a podcast, some people love to see, some people love it when I'm live on location. So we're just going to mix it all up and give it to you in a lot of different formats so that everybody can learn in the way in which they like to learn. And it's my favorite subject, interior design, and I've been doing it a lot of years, and I figured sharing this knowledge would be helpful with many of you. So if you're new here, the podcast is designed to dive deep and help you learn to be your own designer in your own home. What I know for sure is that armed with knowledge and throw in some trial and error and a lot of practice, you really can be successful at creating spaces that you're in love with. Now, always step number one is your design DNA. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go back to episodes 1, 2, and 3 and learn all about your design DNA. We're going to be popping that up as well, so you'll have access to it so that you too can take the actual design DNA test. Over my years of being a professional designer, I've noticed an interesting phenomenon. And this is what prompted my discussion about elegance today. It's kind of a not really talked about nor addressed predicament, and it's sort of a bit of an assumed design element, and that is elegance. You know, elegance is a lot like style. It can be a little elusive in its definition. But I know so many designers and decorators, and in particular at home decorators, and they're missing this element. I don't mean stuffy, I mean a casual, graceful, easy elegance that is warm, inviting, but still it's a little polished. Elegance, it's hard to know how to incorporate it. So today, I'm going to break it down just a bit for you, and hopefully these tips will help you make sure that you're incorporating a healthy dose of it into your own decor. So let's get started. Here are my top tips for adding elegance to your spaces. Number 1, have you ever noticed what happens when you put together an outfit and you add a pair of heels, even if they're a low heel? It's instant elegance, right? Well, the same thing happens when decorating a home. The heels add elegance because they add a little height. Well, the same thing happens in your home. Add some height and your spaces will become lots more elegant. Well, how do you add height, you might ask? Well, first of all, consider taking your draperies all the way up. I know you didn't say you don't have draperies, right? So when you take your draperies all the way up, you want to be just about an inch below the crown molding if you have it, and if you don't have it, then an inch below the ceiling. When you have taller draperies, all of a sudden your room is taller. Another thing you can do is paint vertical stripes. This is a trick that I've incorporated many times to rooms that have low ceilings. And what I mean by this is decide on the size of the stripes. I usually go 12 to 16 inches in my width, and then I typically take a tone on tone. So if I were using a Sherwin-Williams fan, I would pick a color, and then I would pick the color right underneath it. I might vary the finish of the paint, so I might go with an eggshell and then a satin. And then I basically tape off those stripes and paint them. And all of a sudden, you have an instant texture and you have instant height, which is very, very elegant. And of course, I've painted them horizontally as well, but today we're talking about elegance, so I'm talking about vertical stripes. So you want to make sure that your furnishings are in scale with the space. And if your space is slightly taller, then your furnishings need to be slightly taller. Another thing that you can do to invite elegance in your home and to create a little height is use a monochromatic color scheme. And what I mean by this is paint your walls, your baseboards, and your molding all the same color, and all of a sudden your room will appear much taller. Do you have chair rail? Well, I'm not a fan of chair rail, but many people added chair rail to their homes and they spent a lot of money to do so. I say, if you want to add height and elegance, paint the chair rail the same color as the walls. You don't want to bring attention to it. Don't change the finish. Just paint it just like it's the wall. Or if you're in a position to do so, just remove the chair rail. Your room will automatically appear taller and more elegant because you're not breaking the eye up. The second thing that I want to talk about in terms of topic for creating a little elegance in your home is details do make a difference. So something that I recently was reminded of in a design book that I was reading, I really don't remember which one, but I noticed that there weren't window treatments. Well, that's sort of a really kind of an oxymoron statement for me because I really do believe in window treatments, but this was a nice detail. And apparently this was a rental unit and they didn't want to invest in drapery, and I get all that. So they took tape, like a flat tape. And I've done this. I've done it for moldings. I've done it in a lot of ways. But tape meaning trim, like a fabric-y trim. And I'd say it was about probably about 2 inches wide. And they framed the molding around the window with that tape. And you know what? It's one occasion that I say drapery wasn't even necessary. It was a detail that totally screamed elegance. Another thing that you can do with a tape like this is run it right under your crown molding. It's a beautiful detail, and it really shows how much you love your spaces. Another thing that you can do is go bigger on your furnishings and accessories. There's nothing like the optical illusion created when you choose larger than you think furniture in a space. Now, I don't mean furniture you can't walk around. You have to have a path, but I'm talking about furniture that is a little overscaled. It'll make your spaces feel much larger and more interesting, which in turn will make your spaces feel more elegant. Another thing that you can do is exercise refinement. Instead of clutter, think in layers, but make every layer important. In other words, have more important pieces, but less of them. And to my previous point, bigger pieces. Another thing that is important in the world of elegance is adding texture. Marry your texture to the flavor of your designs. For example, if you're a boho chic kind of person, you'll need lots of textiles with rich, thick textures. If you like a modern flavor in your decorating, then shiny texture will do the trick. And if you like a casual, more traditional look, then vary the texture in your pillows and throws and maybe add in some rough-hewn kind of texture like brick. So elevate your elegance with a fur throw, and wowza, you've got magic. So here's something in the design world that does affect elegance, and it's paint finish. Not many people think about this, but I do, especially when someone has flat walls on their finish. It automatically takes the shine out of everything, it scuffs, and all of a sudden, your elegance is really down the tubes. So consider at least eggshell as a finish, and that will elevate you with just a weensy bit of shine. All right, here's one for you. This definitely matters in the elegance world, and it is color. It's a lot of people's favorite subject when talking about design, and what I have to say about color is I love it. You know I love it. If you followed me for 5 seconds, you know that I'm a color girl. But it is real easy to kill your elegance vibe by getting cutesy with color. If you love bright colors, then great. But use a grounding color like black and white to keep the scheme from getting too lighthearted. If you love a touch of whimsy in your decor, I am all for it. But again, sometimes this can come off as cutesy, not elegant. And in some elegant elements, you'll need to add them in, like drapery in rich solids or an elegant plush rug if you have this cutesy thing going on. I love color, but you do need to be careful that you don't get too cutesy. So stay elegant, stay refined. One way you can do this is paint your walls a neutral. And of course, in my world, neutral is really a variant because I believe all colors can be neutral. But you'll want to stay elegant and refined. And if you paint your walls neutral, you can add in pops of color if you like loads of color. Now, here's something that I've really been experimenting lately with in my paintings. And, you know, a lot of times my artwork translates or transfers over to my design world. And I've been studying and taking a class on limited color palettes, which is 6 colors, and 6 colors plus white. And, you know, all of a sudden there's more harmony in my paintings. There's more balance in my paintings. So I'm going to experiment in the design world with this. And when I think back on rooms that I've done, I don't like rooms that are two-dimensional because they're just a little flat. They're just a little boring. But I do think that you can get too many colors going. I don't mean shades of. Shades of is one thing, but too many colors. So in the painting world, we call that value. You do need value within the color. That means, like, if you're using a lavender, then you'll want to use different shades of lavender, deep to light. But lavender is already standing for one color. So you'll want to pick a color scheme that has 3 to 6 colors plus white, or could be plus gray, or it could be plus cream or tan, those being the neutral. And I think if you stick to that, as I think back on my rooms, this is a new concept in my painting, so I haven't experimented with it in my design world, but I have a feeling that it's going to work like a charm. I'll be probably doing an entire podcast on this soon because I'm working on something where I really went all out color, and it is grounded with black and white, but I'm going to employ this method into this condo unit that I'm renovating because I think that I could get too whimsical and too cutesy with it. And what I want to do is stay very elegant, but within the style in which I'm working. So I hope you'll consider up-leveling the elegance in your home in 2022. Incorporating these tips into your plans can certainly help with this. Let me know how your elegance level comes along and share with me on social media or by email. And of course, you can access all of that at Kimberly Grigg Designs. It's at Kimberly Grigg Designs on Instagram, Kimberly Grigg Designs on Facebook, and of course, my email is kimberly@kimberlygriggdesigns.com. And right now, while you're thinking about it, please do me a favor. Share this podcast with the first friend who you think might enjoy it or benefit from it. It's very easy to do. It only takes a second. Just hit the share button and share it with a friend. We really appreciate you helping us grow this podcast. And keep tuning in. I'm eager to share this year with you in the decorating world. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to learn so much to make our homes a better place to live. So for now, I like to say, don't wait. Today is a great day to decorate. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Decorate Like a Design Boss. If you want more info on how to decorate your space like a pro, visit KimberlyGriggDesigns.com. See you next week.